Get ready, wrestling fans, because the most mind-blowing, reality-shattering moment in recent WWE history just went down at SummerSlam 2025, and it may have changed the entire landscape of professional wrestling forever. In a thunderous return that no one could have predicted, Roman Reigns didn't just step back into the ring. He brought with him the most unthinkable alliance in wrestling history: Brock Lesnar, the Beast incarnate, and Jon Moxley, the lunatic fringe from All Elite Wrestling. Yes, you read that right. An active AEW superstar appeared at WWE's biggest summer spectacle, aligned himself with two of WWE's most iconic forces, and unleashed chaos on Seth Rollins, the current Mr. Money in the Bank, in a moment that blew the roof off the entire arena and obliterated every known boundary between wrestling promotions. What unfolded was not merely a surprise return or an epic beatdown. It was a full-on declaration of war. Roman Reigns didn't come back looking for redemption or to reclaim his title the traditional way. He came back to rewrite the entire story of modern wrestling, and he brought his enemies-turned-allies with him to make sure the world took notice. SummerSlam 2025 was already packed with drama. Jacob Fatu's shocking betrayal of Solo Sikoa and Jey Uso's crushing title defeat at the hands of Gunther had already left fans reeling. But those moments would pale in comparison to what happened next. As Seth Rollins stood in the ring, clutching the Money in the Bank briefcase and celebrating with Paul Heyman at his side, it seemed like he had conquered the night. But then, the unexpected happened. The opening chords of Brock Lesnar's entrance theme blasted through the arena speakers, sending the entire crowd into a frenzy. The Beast emerged, walking toward the ring with a measured calm that immediately felt ominous. But instead of attacking Rollins on sight, Lesnar stepped onto the apron and held the ropes open. That's when Roman Reigns stepped through the curtain. The audience went absolutely insane. The tribal chief, absent for months, had returned with a look of absolute focus in his eyes. But just when fans thought the moment couldn't get more surreal, the lights flickered, and the unmistakable sound of Jon Moxley's AEW entrance music filled the stadium. If the crowd was loud before, they erupted now. Moxley stormed down the ramp, dove into the ring, and immediately attacked Rollins from behind, driving him into the mat with a devastating paradigm shift. Meanwhile, Roman Reigns targeted Paul Heyman, delivering a bone-rattling spear to the very man who helped build him into a champion. Then, in a flash of pure destruction, Brock Lesnar picked up Braun Breaker, who had come out moments earlier, and sent him crashing through the announce table with a thunderous F5. Moxley then retrieved the Money in the Bank briefcase from Rollins' fallen body and calmly handed it to Roman Reigns, nodding in silent agreement. Then, in what may go down as one of the most memorable lines in wrestling history, Moxley screamed to the crowd, "This is for the Shield. This changes everything." And it truly, truly did. At that moment, fans around the world realized they were witnessing more than a storyline. They were watching the destruction of the long-standing divide between WWE and AEW. The forbidden door wasn't just opened, it was blown to pieces. This was an unprecedented moment in sports entertainment, where a star under AEW contract physically assaulted a WWE superstar live on pay-per-view and aligned with two of WWE's most iconic powerhouses. But the surprises didn't stop there. Backstage, cameras caught Jey Uso watching the chaos unfold from behind the curtain. His face said it all: shock, pain, and something more complicated. Could he be next to join this new alliance? Could Roman have planned every moment, from Jacob Fatu's betrayal to Jey's downfall, to clear the path for a new dominant faction, one that transcends companies, brands, and even family loyalties? Meanwhile, Paul Heyman lay motionless in the ring, left broken by the very trio he helped shape. These were his former clients, his former protégés, now united against him. Heyman's nightmares had come to life. And if that wasn't enough, eagle-eyed fans spotted none other than Tony Khan, AEW's president, sitting in the crowd, and he was smiling. Was this entire moment the result of a groundbreaking partnership between WWE and AEW? Is this just the beginning of a new era of cross-promotional warfare, or a one-time deal struck in the shadows? If Khan and WWE are truly working together, then everything fans thought they knew about wrestling just got turned upside down. With WrestleMania season approaching, Roman Reigns has positioned himself as the most dangerous man in all of professional wrestling, not because he holds a title, but because he now commands a force unlike anything the industry has ever seen. Brock Lesnar brings brute strength and unstoppable fury. Jon Moxley adds unpredictability, grit, and violent rebellion. And Roman himself, cold, calculating, and more dangerous than ever, now stands as the leader of a trio that could dominate not just WWE, but the entire wrestling world. The Shield has returned in spirit, but not as we knew it. It's been reformed, reshaped, and repurposed as a weapon against everyone who stands in its way, including Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, and potentially even the wrestling business itself. So what happens next? Does Seth Rollins get revenge? Or does he fall further into this nightmare? Will Jey Uso stand with his blood or against him? Is WWE and AEW's relationship going to grow, or will it implode under the weight of its own chaos? One thing is certain, Roman Reigns didn't just return, he reinvented what's possible in this business. The lines between reality and storyline, between promotions and factions, have officially blurred. The Tribal Chief has changed the game. Make sure you stay locked in, because the fallout from this night will ripple across every show, every storyline, and every promotion in the months to come. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the story of Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, and Jon Moxley is just beginning. And if what we saw at SummerSlam 2025 is any indication, wrestling will never, ever be the same again. WWE fans, brace yourselves. SummerSlam 2025 has officially shaken the very foundation of professional wrestling. In a jaw-dropping, reality-defying moment, Roman Reigns made his return in the most explosive way possible, not just to WWE, but to the entire wrestling world. And he didn't come alone. Alongside him were none other than Brock Lesnar and AEW's very own Jon Moxley, forming a trio no one could have possibly predicted. Their target? Seth Rollins, Mr. Money in the Bank. In one shocking appearance, Roman Reigns shattered every barrier between wrestling promotions, kicking down the so-called forbidden door and declaring open warfare across the industry. This wasn't just a return, it was a calculated power play that will be talked about for years to come. It all began when the chaos of the night had already reached boiling point. Jacob Fatu betrayed Solo Sikoa in a ruthless ambush, and Jey Uso suffered a devastating loss to Gunther. Amid that chaos, Seth Rollins, having just secured the Money in the Bank briefcase, stood in celebration beside Paul Heyman. That's when Brock Lesnar's music hit, sending shockwaves through the arena. But instead of storming the ring to decimate everyone in sight, Lesnar calmly held the ropes open. Then, Roman Reigns appeared.